Welcome back. It's art time, class. Today we're going to be looking at drawing a landscape. To do that, what that really means for most of us is drawing a landscape scene using lines and shapes. To start with, we're going to need a few materials. Your pencil, of course, always start with that. You're going to need something to write with. I'm using a pencil. I'm actually using two different kinds. I'm using a HB pencil. And then I'm also using a 4H pencil. You can see what those look like right there. We're also going to want a pencil sharpener and eraser, pretty basic 2 items. And then you might also want something to blend with. Here I have my blending stick. You'll need a straight edge. You can use a ruler. If you don't have a ruler at home, you can find a box or like a journal notepad and use that straight edge. So this week when I'm looking to grade your pictures, be sure you use a straight edge because I can tell the difference between when you draw it by hand and when you use a straight edge. Okay, so to start with, you're going to draw a line like right in the middle of your paper, and it's going to be a horizontal line. So horizontal when it is coming across, and you'll want your paper laying horizontally, which is like coming across like this. Okay, so there's our first line going across. It's pretty light because I'm using my 4H pencil. So you want to start with light lines and then move darker and darker as we go. Okay, our light lines can always erase and disappear very easily versus the darker lines. Let's imagine my paper is about that big. Let's just imagine that. And then there's it's a horizon line. It's like right in the middle. So that's our first line. Let's do another line. This time we're going to do a zigzag line above this. It's going to be the mountains for our area. And if you want it to be like super mountain pokey, you can do that. If you want more of like a hills in the background, you're going to do more of a wavy line. I'm actually going to do 2. I'm going to do some wavy line. And then I'm going to do a zigzag line because I want mountains and a hill in the background. All right, so there are a zigzag, a wavy, and a straight line. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 more lines, and these are going to be like wiggly, curvy lines. The lines for, let's say, a river or a stream. It could also be like a path, like a car path or a road. And I'm going to put those sort of in the middle. And then one's going to come out on the corner edge, kind of over here by that corner. And the other one's going to come out on the corner edge here at the bottom, kind of over here. Now, if you want to change your lines so they come out on this corner, you can do that. If you want to change it so your lines start over here or start over here and then come to one of the corners, it's really an artist's choice. So that's your choice. I'm going to go ahead and pick sort of in the middle and sort of in the middle. And they're pretty close together to start. And then where they're going to end, one's going to end way over here. And then one's going to end down here somewhere. I'm going to put it, let's put it right there. Now to do the wavy line, I want to wave it back and forth to that edge. Okay, so I just kind of, a little bit of a wave. And I'm going to do a similar wave. It's not going to be perfectly perpendicular, where, like, see, these pencils are perpendicular right now. Ours are going to be perpendicular kind of in this way. It's going to taper, okay? It's going to be a perpendicular line that tapers, which means that perpendicular, they're never going to cross or touch, and they're going to taper as in they get bigger or smaller from one end to another, okay? So I'm going to have this line wiggle. It's going to get a little bigger and it's going to come down here, okay? Now this could be a river if I draw fish and other creatures around it. It could be a road if I want to do a straight line going down here and drawing a car onto it. That's, like I said, an artist's choice. But these are all of our baselines for our drawing. At this point, we can start adding some details. Like you could add the sun in the background. Say I want like a setting sun. I'm going to shade this in just a little bit because I do want that there. I saw a lot of our portrait pictures from last week. They had a lot of really great shading and coloring. I have some examples I'll show you guys at the end here. All right, so I shaded that in a little bit. Now I'm still on 4H pencil, so we're still making really light lines. On this horizon line, that's when we use that straight edge to really get a nice straight line. And we're going to go ahead and draw some buildings coming up off top of that. And I'm going to do a simple, let's do another guideline. Say these are the tops of, let's do tops of buildings. And then I'm going to do like another layer because some buildings are going to be taller than others. So I have a few lines here. I'm going to start, now because these are buildings I'm drawing in the background, they're straight. So I'm using my straight edge to make them nice and neat. I think on this side, I'm going to do like trees. Trees are similar to triangle shapes, depending on the type of tree. And I'm going for the triangle shape type tree. So I'll just put some triangles down just to kind of lay it out. So I'm imagining there's going to be a forest or nature on this side, which means as things get closer to this bottom area, things are going to get bigger. So if I draw like a smaller tree over here, something that's over down here is going to be a lot taller. Same shape, same idea, but it's bigger because it's going to be closer to the viewer. Okay. I think I'm going to add some more building lines over here. Put one final building right there. Let's add like one random skyscraper, tall building. If I want to add depth, some of you have had that conversation with me where I talk about turning a square into a cube and adding depth. You can do that here. You'll just draw like a tiny little line kind of going back into the distance and then connect those lines. Again, I should be using my straight edge. Okay. Sometimes I even want to skip using a straight edge. It really does look better when I take the time to do that. And remember, do I need you to finish this? Nope, just need you to do your best. Just do your best, have fun with it. Okay. So I have some buildings laid in here. I have some trees there, a bigger tree up at the front. I want a big building over here too. I think I'm gonna go for like a little house. What do you guys think? A little house right here? I think when I did this drawing with first graders and kindergartners early in the school year, because they study this type of drawing style earlier in the school year. Let's go ahead and erase that. So that's going to be behind the house. So I'm going to go ahead and erase it since I'm going to cover it up with a house. Let's do, yes, this right here. And that line right there. But yeah, so kindergarten and first graders kind of do this drawing activity a little earlier in the year. Do you see how that's getting darker? Do you guys see that? It's because I picked up my HB pencil. I'm starting to add in a few more details. So they've already had a little bit of experience with this drawing. Let's see, I'm going to have this come out this way. For our bigger kids, you might want to start adding depth. That's what I'm doing right now with this house. I'm going to not just make this pentagon shape for the exterior, I'm going to also draw those lines that go back into the distance. I'm actually going to want these lines to connect somewhere. I'll create an imaginary point, like say my point's way over here. I'm going to imagine all of these lines go to that point. So everything that has to do with the house that's going back into the distance is going to meet at that point. Okay. There's again, like these lines are parallel as in they run along to each other, but they're also tapering as in they get smaller or closer depending on where they are. Okay, so I've got myself a house. I'm going to switch to my HB pencil. I'm going to start adding details and going darker. At this point, let's see, I could add in a little doorway, some windows, because this is like a little town back here. If I can think of any buildings that I might live by, I could draw to look like that. That would be fun. See another little door, a smaller building right next to it. I know my windows aren't perfect, guys. This is for fun. Let's have fun with our drawing. Let's add in this. And I want a path going from the house to the what will be a river. I'm going to make it a river. Let's make it. And just like this path was smaller, farther away, and it's getting bigger as it goes down. Same with this one. See how close that is and how far apart that is. It's like 2 fingers distance versus a pinky's distance. I'm gonna go ahead and just start kind of doodling a little bit. These lines coming up around the house, these are grass lines. A lot of us have grass growing at our homes. And you can go outside and see grass around as it grows up. It kind of covers the bottom edge of a lot of things, especially if you haven't trimmed it recently. Now, as I'm drawing in, I don't know if you guys can see this, I am doing each blade of grass. Can you hear that? And as I get farther down, like over here where it's closest, the braids of grass will be longer. Like that. And grass grows from the ground up. So that's why my marks start at the bottom and then go up slightly. I'm not just going back and forth. I'm drawing each individual piece of grass if I can. That gives it lots of detail. I don't have to do all of them. I'm going to do quite a bit though, just to give it some texture in my drawing. A lot of us, I saw you do when you were doing your portrait, you were doing hair. A lot of us were taking our time and drawing the individual strands of hair. And I'll just do a really great job on this side right there. Now I'm going to start working from this over this. So my hand, I'm right-handed, so my hand is always on the right side. If you're left-handed, you're going to work from this to this, okay? So it really just depends on where your hand is. I'm going to be working that way, okay? Adding some details on this house. Do I want to give them a window? I think maybe I do. Let's go ahead, and if I add a window on this side, I want these lines to go to that dot. Okay, and then a straight line here and a straight line there. Wow, that window looks amazing because I took the time to draw a straight line for guiding with that nice edge. I'm going to add that in there. Gives it a little bit of depth. And I could put like a little stick figure or someone inside. A little silhouette of a person. Okay. And you can make your home imaginary. You can make it look realistic to what your home looks like. I'm going to say it's little doorways right there. And let's go ahead and talk about some of these buildings in the back. Let's redraw them in because I had to erase part of it. So you want to draw stuff on this horizon line and then start adding in some stuff here. And as you saw, I paused to erase what would be behind it. And then now I'm coming back and I'm darkening this area. It makes sense to have details behind things because in real life you can see what's behind me, right? All right. Let's put a few trees over here. Say they have some. Let's go ahead and darken in some of this hill here. And if you want to start adding color, you can. I think I just want to work in black and white today. That's just going to be my artist's choice. I might go back and add in some color details at the very end. Just depends on what I want to do. This is a lot of choice in this project. And I think I'm going to come back and have this hill come down here and this hill come down here. Like there's a river that runs through the hills. Oh, I like that idea. Okay, I'm going to erase this. I know I just shaded that in, but I can change my idea as I work. That's okay. Okay. And what if this is like a hill of trees? Oh, I love that even more. And they have to get really tiny in the back. Like up on the hill, it's going to be like, it's going to look like a little dinosaur or something. It's got all these spikes all over it, but they're really trees. They're really going to be trees. And I'm just doing simple shapes for the background area. The farther something is, the more simple I want it to be, whether it's a shape or just a line that would represent it. And I want you to think about drawings that you do already, specifically like clouds or suns. When you add in that shape, it gets so far away, and we usually just do a circle. We don't do a bunch of detail for the sun because it's so far away. Just like clouds, they're usually like circles and ovals and egg shapes layered on top of each other. It's like a squiggle. Let's get some blending over here. Oh, I love a blending stick. It just kind of smooths all those colors together, all those shades. For me, I'm working with shade. If you choose to do color, that's fine. I know some of us do not have access to color. You can get a lot of value if you just take your time, blend it in. I'm liking this. Okay. I feel like coming over here. I need to add some more details on these mountain tops. I'm going to pretend there's a bunch of snow up here. Look at that, guys. That's a mistake. It's just okay. There we go. Yay! I didn't give up. I kept trying. All right, and mountains have this like rough shade to them. Very rough shadows. And look, see how messy that is? I can come back and blend it. And I can make it as neat or as messy as I want. Now, as all of us know, when we look outside, the sky is blue and clouds are like a whitish gray and sometimes different colors, just depending on the weather. Just depending if it's the sun setting or whatnot. So when you are adding color or shade, since I'm doing shade, I'm going to leave my sky kind of clear and white. But if you're going to add color, please be sure to add blue or whatever shades of color you want to add for your sky, all the way from this top line at the edge of your paper, all the way till it meets the mountains or the sun or the hills, whatever it is you're adding in the background. Oh my goodness, this drawing is starting to look really cool. All right, so I have this tree up here. I could add a big old stem for it. And I want you to think about the tree shapes that you already know, you already enjoy drawing, and do that. So I'm just adding lines coming down right now. It kind of looks like an arrowhead. Oh, look at that, making it more and more jagged. So that jagged zigzag line, it's going to be like a textury, rough, prickly, pokey kind of texture is what I'm going for. So that's why I'm prickly looking. I want to add some lines over here. What else do you guys think I should add? Let's see. I know Miss Mannion's class would have lots of good ideas for me. Her class always had really cool ideas for me to draw. Just adding in a little grass around my river. All right, guys. Well, I've spent over 15 minutes on my drawing. If I want to stop, I can go ahead and stop. But if you have more free time and you want to continue adding more details, of course you can add more details. You could start adding color if you wanted to add colors, and you could try again if you wanted to do this a second time. Turn your paper over. It's okay. You can try again. Let me see if I got a little blue here. Maybe I could shade in a little bit of the sky. Ooh. I kind of go towards the edges and go around all the edges. And then I'll come back and fill in when you're coloring. You want to color with the shape. Now the sky is free. It's like a free shape. So I'm going to outline it and then kind of do circles. I'm going to cross hatch. Cross hatching when you go from one direction and then cross the other direction. And I can do circles just to create kind of an even color. Here I am going around the edges as I'm adding color. Again, color is a choice. You don't have to add color to any of your drawing, any of these drawing prompts. It is your choice. It just depends on how much time you have to spend on your art and how much time you want to spend on your art. I'm asking guys that you spend at least 15 minutes on these drawings. In art class, we would have 30 minutes of working art time. I'm asking that you spend at least half of that at home doing some art, some drawing. If you would like to spend more, you are always welcome to spend more. I'll probably spend 4 hours on a drawing if I want to have lots of details. If you guys think you can draw for that long, I'd love to see what you do and come up with. Let's see, I'm going to add a little heavier line down here on the bottom part of the clouds just because I want to. I think it's going to make it look heavier. Even though it doesn't make sense. If the sun's over here, the heavy dark line should be on the other side. But it's my drawing. Oh, I think I'm going to do rainbow clouds now. Now I want to make it a rainbow cloud. That's okay, right? I can do what I want on my drawing, right? Let's do... Ooh, a rainbow landscape would be so pretty. Look at my rainbow clouds. Yay. Oh, yeah. So make this as realistic as you want, guys. As you can see, I did rainbow clouds. You don't have to do realistic if you don't want to. In fact, if you wanted to draw a dragon flying around back there, you just go for it. All right, so as you can see here, I finished coloring the sky. I also have my pet cockatiel Buddy with us. He was starting to sing in the background, so I wanted to go ahead and grab him to look at our artwork that we were doing last time. So we did portraits last time, and a lot of people added so many cool details. I even had some people do more than one try, and I love that, guys. You can draw this once, you can draw it 2 times, you can draw it as many times as you want. Look at all the shading these two did. They really use that blending tool I talked about, whether it's a blending stick or just some paper towels at home. Okay. Ooh, I know, look at the use of color on this one. He's got a lot of contour lines. Here's another one. Look, they colored the sky blue and the clouds white. That makes me so happy. On this picture, remember to go all the way from the top to the bottom. Here we have, look at the details they added. I didn't talk about adding a body, and some people did. I love that. Here's one where a student drew a picture of their parent. Remember, you can do someone made up. You can do things made up or do things that are real. It's up to you. Here we are. Oh no, look at that one, Buddy. Isn't it cool? I love that the symmetry these people have in their pictures. And look at this messy hair. You can tell she started up here and waved it and did a messy hair on the way down. Oh my goodness, look at this one. This is one of our first graders. She had her picture when she did this project in the hallway, I remember. Ooh, excellent job here. Look how he colored the whole background, really decorated the whole paper. I love that. I could tell he really took his time. So here's our picture, guys. You can add as many details as you want. It's up to you. I think I'm going to color the sun a bright yellowy red to finish off our video. Ooh, yes. So what is that? A colorful sky? Loving it. Till next time, guys, be sure to keep creating.